Good evening. I'm Maria Laukai with the New Dawn FM News. Tonight's news is dominated by the state of emergency. The headlines: highways and borders in the region still open. 15 persons of interest for COVID-19 in the region cleared. Business houses in Bougainville urged to comply with SOE orders. SOE Deputy Controller emphasizes on likely scenarios if SOE is prolonged, and Health Secretary urged the public not to be ignorant. The news in detail. The SOE Controller in Bougainville, Mr. Francis Tokora, said there is no blockade on the two borders of the three regions. The controller made this announcement this afternoon that the rumor about the blockades on the two borders was not true. He said he did not issue any orders to block the highways and borders and stop cars from traveling to Buka, Arawa and Buin. Mr. Tokura said the highways and the borders are still open. He said the only restriction put up on the roadblocks are to check and ensure people observe physical distancing and PMVs do not overload. According to the ABG Health Secretary, Mr. Clement Totawun, 15 persons of interest in the region were being identified, assessed, and all have been excluded for the COVID-19. The Secretary, however, said there was one particular person of interest that the medical team did a test on and is yet to be sent for testing results. Mr. Totawun said the medical team unfortunately collected the samples late yesterday when the plane has already left. The samples have been properly packed and stored in the lab at the hospital waiting for the arrival of the next plane to take it to the lab for test results, Mr. Totawun said. Mr. Totawun is appealing to the people in Bougainville to come forward and report anyone in the community showing symptoms of COVID-19 like coughing, unusual fever, general body ache, and running nose. He said any cases of such should be reported immediately to the hospital or health center for the medical team to examine them, or call the toll hotline number, which is 744 60830. Mr. Totawun said the reason to examine these people earlier is to reduce any possibilities of us seeing any cases of COVID-19. The early examination is also to ensure that any cases of COVID-19 are cleared off by giving early treatment, he said. The SOE controller in Bougainville, Mr. Francis Tokura, has called on business houses in the region to comply with the SOE orders issued. Mr. Tokura made this statement today after the Chinese bakery owner in Buka was arrested and charged yesterday for secretly baking scones to sell to the shops. According to the SOE controller, police confiscated 1,000 worth of scones from the bakery, and the owner was arrested and charged with a 1,000 kina bail. Mr. Tokura said everyone should know by now under the SOE orders all bakeries, liquor shops and fast food outlets are to remain closed. The controller appeals to all business houses to comply with the SOE orders as there will be consequences. He added that under the SOE order, if there is any violation by any of the business houses, the controller has the power to issue an order to seize the business properties. You are listening to New Dawn FM News. SOE Deputy Controller Thomas Rabbit raised a concern on issues that Bougainville would encounter if the state of emergency is prolonged to 6 months or more. He raised a concern on how the government will look after the public in terms of food security, economy, and in providing other important services if the SOE is extended. He said shortage of food supply will lead to people stealing from others that can lead to law and order problems in the region. He also said students should not be denied from their studies in such a long period of time. Mr. Rabbit said those were the serious situations that the government should foresee as the COVID-19 case is unpredictable and as well as the state of emergency. He said it is very important to start looking at those possible scenarios that could confront us and start planning for the future. The ABG Health Secretary Clement Totawun has urged the public not to be ignorant in reporting cases of symptoms of COVID-19. Mr. Totawun said there might not be any confirmed case of COVID-19, but we have to run the test to be sure of the situation. He said ignorance can affect the people of Bougainville if public is not cooperating with the state of emergency orders. Mr. Totawun said to prevent the spread of COVID-19, people must obey the rules and follow the safety measures that were given. Finally, to end the English bulletin, here are the news headlines again. Highways and borders in the region still open. 15 persons of interest for COVID-19 in the region cleared. Business houses in Bougainville urged to comply with the SOE orders. SOE Deputy Controller emphasizes on likely scenarios if SOE is prolonged, and Health Secretary urged the public not to be ignorant. The New Dawn FM English Bulletin ends on that note. For more news, please visit the two New Dawn FM sites on www.bougainville.typet.com, www.bougainvillenews.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and listen to us on New Dawn FM YouTube page. On behalf of the news team, I'm Maria Laukai. You have a pleasant evening.